Hello everyone, and welcome to Scorched Earth Toys at anymoon.com's review of Bandai's 160 scale DX YF-29 toys. This toy is available in two versions right now. We have the Alto variant and the Focker 30th anniversary variant. Toys were released at 17,000 yen. This toy came out in May 2011, was reissued in June 2012. Focker was issued originally in October 2012 and is being reissued in March 2013. Both these toys also have their own super parts that are available exclusively through the Tamashii website. This toy introduced a lot of the improvements over the version 1 DX VF-25 toy that we then became accustomed to in the version 2 VF-25 toy. Some of those improvements include a gun that comes with the toy and attaches without a separate accessory attachment part being necessary. We also got removable intake covers that expose not very good but existing turbine detail. There are integrated landing gears as seen here. They don't really lock in place. They lock a little bit better on my Focker toy. The front landing gear has a little bit of an issue in that it goes farther than perpendicular. There's also an articulated tow bar. Again, we didn't see that on the version 1 VF-25 toys. So you do get the gun with the toy. You also get two fixed posed hands and obviously instructions and a pilot figure. The pilot figure is an improvement again over the version 1 VF-25 toys. I'll have close-ups on anymoon.com. The cockpit includes some enhancements as well. There is now a trap cargo bay area here that you can get a fingernail underneath, with a little luck, and then expose a seat for a second passenger. Now you can't quite fit the full-length original passenger back there. You can almost do it. So a second passenger would have to be a little bit smaller in size. But obviously, opening and closing canopy, and some gimmicks specific to this toy. Let's look at Focker for a moment here. The Focker toy comes with a display stand that doesn't have the orange SMS painted on it like the Alto version does. It's kind of inexplicable. This toy has the SMS markings on it, but it's white on white, so it doesn't show up very well, which is a little confusing. But if you're going to put the SMS markings on the toy, why not also paint the display stand? I don't really know. This toy is also allegedly an homage to the original Focker paint scheme. I'll have some pictures that kind of show you the liberal take on that, I guess we'll say. Okay, so unique to the YF-29, there are guns in the back here that pop up and extend. I'm going to show you that more in Guerre Walk mode. There's also these VTOL boosters, which is pretty neat, so you could have it taken off if you wanted to. And these boosters here are articulated. Okay, so I think that does it for fighter mode. Let's go ahead and transform these toys and take a look at Guerre Walk. Alright, here we have Guerre Walk mode. Now before I begin, let's take a look at the gun that comes with these toys. It's kind of a cross between the VF-27 gun and the VF-25 gun. It features a slide out mechanism that also pushes a scope upward. You can then fold the scope down and open the barrel of the gun like so. So that's fine. It fits firmly in the hand, which is a nice little addition. The next big improvement to discuss is the shield. The shield on the original V1 VF-25 toys was pretty terrible. This toy has a trap door that collapses, so it doesn't have to fit so far off the arm in fighter or Guerre Walk modes. It also has a trap door in the front for stowing the dagger. Now, the other benefit is these toys don't need to have fixed pose karate chop hands in fighter mode. They can have these articulated hands that are on the Guerre Walk toy currently. So that's a huge improvement over the V1 VF-25 toys. Now, for a gimmick note, you have these strike or tornado style guns on the back of the YF-29. Obviously they're articulated, they look good, and they add to the fun factor of Guerre Walk mode, which a lot of people say Guerre Walk mode doesn't have much of a fun factor. I think the YF-29 is an example of a version that does have kind of a fun Guerre Walk mode. Another attribute to discuss while we're in this mode are these opening shoulders, which reveal missiles that can be fired in Guerre Walk and Batroid modes. One other thing I didn't mention in fighter mode, these little winglets on the end here are also adjustable. Not really sure why you'd ever have them up or down, but you can certainly do that to however you like. Alright, let's move on to Batroid mode. Okay, and then we get to Batroid mode. In Batroid mode, you have the guns that can kind of function like the strike accessories for the original VF1 toy. I mentioned before that this toy is a bit of an homage, or was inspired by the original VF1S Focker paint scheme. As you can see, there's not a whole lot in common between the two, so kind of a liberal take on it. So, what else do we have? We have missile bays on the legs now. I told you also there's missile bays in the shoulders previously. To get to the missile bays in the leg, you just pull the bays away from the leg and then rotate them forward. You have to pull the top door away from the body and then swing it open like so. If you kind of mess this up, you can pop the top door off, but it just clips right back into place. So, as you can see, not the best detail in the world, but while I'm showing you close-ups, the back of this toy now has a trim piece that kind of covers the canopy. It doesn't do it 100%, but it is a big improvement over the original V1 VF-25 toys that were out there. Again, precursors to what we got with the V2 VF-25 toys. Another thing about these toys that was an improvement is the ball joint is now on the wrist, and it seems that this new design does a lot better giving stability to the wrist, so you don't end up with limp wrists, guns that are always pointing down, which was a complaint, again, with the V1 VF-25 toys. So, lots of good things here. Let's go through articulation. I'll use the red toy because it probably shows up a little bit better. But let's just start by saying articulation is pretty darn good on these toys. You get a pivot area before the shoulder, and then the shoulder itself is on a metal extension with ball joints on either side. That was the waist popping out on me. Not nearly as bad a problem as it was on the V1 VF-25 toys. Alright, so you have a ball joint here, you can rock, you can do a lot of things, and the shoulder armor on the top is articulated. Then you have a double joint at the elbow, which lets you get the more extreme hands to the shoulders poses. You also have a swivel right below the shoulder. So all that good stuff. There's a waist, there's a waist joint. There are ball joints at the hips. You do need to make sure you've got your waist pivot all the way forward so the intakes don't bash up against the canards. Then you have your Guerre Walk joint. And this toy does have the ability to be in Guerre Walk mode, I didn't mention this earlier, with the intakes attached, which was an improvement we saw in the DX VF-27 toy that was carried forward for the YF-29. If you click the legs down to their extended point, you have the rotation there. And you also have your 90 degrees range of motion back. The ankles give you a nice ball joint articulation, and it's a little clicky actually, so that's nice. Could be a little tighter, but does a good job. When you are messing with the hips, you want to make sure that that waist is forward again, so you're not scratching anything. That would be something that proved true on the original V1 toys. You could scratch this area, and also the V2 Renewal toys in this YF-29 toy. The head is on a ball joint. The only thing you're really going to want to take care with when you're handling these toys is the paint, because you can get little scratches, like I've got right there, pretty easily through seemingly just normal handling of the toy. This toy can do some really fun poses, and I will show you a couple examples on anymoon.com, but I just can't say enough for how much fun you can have with this toy compared to a lot of other toys out there that were similarly priced. Now, unfortunately, when I say similarly priced, I mean MSRP. These toys tended to sell out right away and then be sold for quite a bit more than MSRP. And if you're paying twice what it was supposed to cost you, you probably have less warm, fuzzy feelings about these toys. But overall, excellent toys. Great precursor to the Renewal toys, which are also excellent toys. Visit anymoon.com. I will show you lots more close-ups and give you a little bit more detail on these toys. And also check out my transformation guide. There's a lot of nice engineering work that went in, and it's really a breeze to get through each mode, which just increases the enjoyment. Thanks for viewing.